Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It's Garlaanx here bringing you a new Diablo 4 video. And as the title suggests, we are on the PTR preview server looking ahead to Season 6. One big feature that is coming into the game now is Runewords from the old school Diablo days. Just a thing of note, Runewords are in the PTR. However, to utilize the Runewords in the live game when Season 6 launches, you do have to purchase the Vessel of Hatred expansion. So whatever version you buy, whatever bundle you buy, you do have to purchase the expansion to take advantage of the Runewords. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of these Runewords. I played with them for several days on several classes, and they just work better on certain classes than others. I've played a Necromancer since the game launched in Season 0, and on the certain builds of the Necro that I plan on running in Season 6, the Runewords just aren't that great, to be honest. They really aren't. On some of the Necro builds, they work out well, but on some of them, they don't. I rather just slot in gems. And that's one of the key notes I want to start with, is that to use Runewords in the first place, you do have to sacrifice gem slots. These are not separate slots. So you either have to choose Runewords or gems. Now, at the same time, they did grant us additional slots. On the live servers, you can only have one slot in your helmet. This was increased to 2. So now we can have 2 slots in our helmet, 2 slots on our chest, 2 slots in our legs, and if you're using a 2-handed weapon, 2 slots in your weapon, for a total of 8 gems. You can only use 2 Runewords at a time, so you can still theoretically use 4 gems if you're using a 2-hander, and then the 2 Runewords. So if we look at this, it's basically just a minor little bonus. Okay, so there's 2 different types of runes. There's going to be runes of invocation, and then runes of offering, or runes of ritual, rather. So we'll look at all of this in game, but they have a whole list here, so etc. Ritual runes go in the top slot, and then the invocation runes go in the bottom slot. So the first slot, the ritual runes, or the cause and effect, is what I like to call these. So this is the cause. A Yule legendary rune gives you 50 offering, which is the essence or resource that you're going to be using to trigger the effect. So the cause and effect. Casting a casting a skill with a cooldown gives you 50 offering. It's as simple as that, okay? So if you're playing a sorcerer, a class that has a lot of skills with cooldowns, every time you cast a skill with a cooldown, you're going to grant 50 offering. That's the cause. So if you match that with, let's just say this one because it's the first one, this requires 800 offering. You invoke the Barbarian's Challenging Shout, reducing your damage taken. Okay? If we look at one with like a less offering, for instance, this one, for instance, it only costs 25 offering, but if you're getting 50 offering every time you cast a cooldown, it essentially overcharges or overflows. So you gain multiple stacks. And you gain 2.5% critical strike chance for 5 seconds, up to 25%. You can literally gain 25% critical strike just from using this rune word, and you're going to constantly have this up, and you're going to overflow it, because again, on a sorcerer, for instance, 4 of your skills on your bar have a cooldown that you're going to spam non-stop. So that's just a short little introduction to how this system works. We're going to look in depth in game over this system and show you guys all that stuff. Alright guys, and here we are in game. We're going to look at the Runewords. I have them all in my stash currently. So again, we have that cause and effect analogy that I like to use. So we have these ritual runes, which means you have to do an action to get X amount of offering to then trigger one of these invocation runes, which is then the effect, right? So for instance, just on this alone here, reduce your active cooldowns by 0.25, right? So let's go ahead, we'll read through these. These are all the ones that are currently in the game on PTR. There may or may not be more coming when Season 6 launches. These may also, they're subject to change. They might adjust some of these and how they work, etc. So starting with the cause runes, aka the ritual runes, gain 10 offering, lucky hit, up to 100% chance against injured enemies. Don't even understand what that means. Gain 50 offering, all you have to do is travel 5 meters. We have gain 25 offering, stand still for 0.3 seconds. Gain 25 offering, cast a non-channeled core skill. 150 offering, invoke power from another class. Gain 50 offering, cast a skill with a cooldown. These are all legendary. Going down to rare, gain 1,000 offering anytime you are injured or crowd controlled, but it has an internal cooldown of 20 seconds. 2 offering for every 1% of maximum health you lose. 300 offering, deal damage after not taking any damage within 5 seconds. And if you become invulnerable, then it just resets. 5 offering, inflict a crowd control that isn't slow or chill. Spend 5% of your maximum resource for 2 offering. Those are the rare ones. Now let's look at those are the rare ones. Let's look at the magical ones. 50 offering is cast evade. 25 offering for cast the same non-channeled skill 3 times in a row. 10 offering for cast the skill after moving, has an internal cooldown. 10 offering for your minion or companion kills an enemy or dies. 100 offering for just drinking a potion. 150 offering for casting a ultimate skill. So those are all of the current ritual rune words in the game. Those are the causes where you have to have a catalyst. You're doing something to activate these other ones. So now let's look at all of the runes of invocation here. It requires 100 offering, and again, it reduces your active cooldowns by 0.25. 500 offering, and your evade becomes the sorcerer's teleport skill. 500 offering, evoke the barbarian's enhanced war cry, increasing your movement speed and damage dealt. 400 offering is +3 to all skills for 5 seconds. 700 offering, your next skill cast will be a guaranteed critical strike and overpower. Invoke the druid's petrify, stunning enemies, increasing your critical strike damage against them. Evoke the spiritborn's vortex, cost 500 offering. 800 offering, evoke the barbarian's challenging shout, reducing your damage taken. 150 offering required, gain a shadow from the rogue's dark shroud, reducing your damage taken per shadow. 700 offering is countering concealment, which gives you dodge chance, movement speed, unstoppable, and stealth. 400 offering, your next non-basic skill cast spends all of your primary resource to deal up to 100% increased damage. 400 offering, restore an evade charge, gain 6% movement speed for 5 seconds up to 30%. 800 offering, evoke the druid's earthen bulwark, granting yourself a barrier. 400 offering is the sorcerer's mystical frost nova, which freezes and makes them vulnerable. 250 offering, invoke the spiritborn's concussive stomp, or dealing damage and knocking down enemies. 100 offering is invoke the necromancer's horrid decrepify, slowing enemies and reducing their damage and letting you execute them. 200 offering is 20% maximum life for 4 seconds. Reduce your active ultimate cooldowns by 4 seconds is 200 offering. 100 offering is summon a spirit wolf for 8 seconds. 25 offering is the critical strike chance for 5 seconds up to 25%. Restore 1 primary resource. You leave the Necromancer's desecrated ground behind you for 3 seconds, dealing damage to enemies within for 100 offering. 25 offering, evoke the Druid's dancing bolts. 100 offering, evoke the Spiritsborn's pestilent swarm, dealing damage to enemies. 100 offering is abhorrent Iron Maiden from Necromancers, counter-attacking damage from enemies and healing you when they die. Evoke the Barbarian's Earthquake, dealing damage to enemies within. Evoke the Sorcerer's Meteorites, dealing damage to enemies. And then evoke the Rhodes Stun Grenades for 100 offering. So again, these are going to take the place of a gem slot. Now on my current build, I'm on my Necromancer. It's a pure DOT build. None of these really work out that well for me, honestly, on this build. Now this is a non-meta build, and it is what it is. But we're going to just do an example here. So you have to put these in your helm, your chest, your pants, or if you're using a two-handed weapon. So that limits a Necro, well, if you're using, a two-handed weapon. It depends on your build and what you're doing. So for me, I'm not using a two-handed weapon. So I have to sacrifice 4 gem slots if I want to use 2 Runewords. So for this experiment, we're just going to do 1. So let's see here. Stand Still is a good one for 25 offering for this build in particularly. The Channeled Core skill isn't bad because I spam Blight. Cast a skill with a cooldown is not good for this build. It's better for Sorcerer. Let's see here. This is a good one too. It only gives you 5 offering, but it's inflict a crowd control that isn't slow or chill. And I'm actually using Howl from Below, which Corpse Explosion fears and slows for 0.3 seconds. So every time I fear an enemy, I gain 5 offering. So it's actually not that bad. So slow doesn't count. So this does slow, but that doesn't count. But the fear is 100% on these, by the way. This just is broken in my opinion. I constantly fear all the trash mobs all the time. This isn't a lucky hit chance or anything. It's a guaranteed 100% chance. Corpse Explosion fears. So every time I cast Corpse Explosion and I hit monsters, I'm gaining 5 offering. So let's go ahead and take one of those out just so I can show you guys. And then we want something that's low cost, just so I can show you guys. Actually, I'm curious to see how much resources this gives. I want to just see. But none of these are just actually good for this current build, unfortunately. Meteorites might be fun. It doesn't do any damage, but it might be fun just to show you guys. We'll do meteorites here. So let's go ahead to the gem. There's a gem guy now in the training room. Just take him out of my chest, for instance. So let's go ahead and we'll put this in. And then we'll go ahead and put the meteorites in. So now this is a rune word. So now it shows you here. It's called the Nocton. Crystalline Inferno. Inflict a crowd control that isn't slow or chill 5 times. And I'm going to get meteorites falling on the ground. So let's go ahead and we'll come over here. And we'll get this going. So automatic fears, and then you can see the meteorites falling because it's just the fear is 100%. So we're not really looking at the damage here. I'm just showing you guys the meteorites are falling non-stop. You can see right here that my meter just fills up because I'm just fearing everything non-stop essentially. Every time I'm casting Corpse Explosion here, I'm fearing. So it's just automatically filling up, and you can see the meteorites are just falling down. So that's essentially how the Runeworks work. Now, would I use this? No, it's not practical. The meteorites literally don't do like hardly any damage. They do like 5k damage. That one did 6k. They do no damage. There's no benefit to using that. It's better to actually use the gems over this. Now, I'm curious to see. Let's go ahead and take these out real quick. I wanted to see what the resource gain was. Because it's going to overpower. Remember, you can get that overpowering effect. Now, I don't need resources on this build. Actually, it's not going to overpower because it's a 1-for-1 ratio. Yeah, so I just cast it one time and I get literally 1 resource. So, unfortunately, that's just not worth it. 1 resource, in my opinion, is not worth it. So, if we just spam this, because I'm curious to see what the resource gain looks like, even though I'm fearing all the mobs. I mean, I guess it's not horrible. I'm instantly going like back up essentially, but it's only 1 resource for every feared enemy. But again, that's just an example. I just wanted to show you guys how this system works. Is there anything else crazy we can do here? Oh, the standing still's not bad either. Let's see if that actually increases. I just want to see if it increases. So, because that would overpower then. So that should overpower, right? Does it not overpower? So every time I'm standing still, I'm just getting 1 resource. I guess that doesn't overpower. Or overflow or whatever. Does that one particularly not overflow? I guess it doesn't overflow, so you can't gain any more than 1 primary resource. I mean, it's still not bad. If you're in an AoE situation and you're hitting multiple enemies with whatever cause that you're using, then it's still not bad, I guess. So, for instance, for this one, the stand still for 0.3 seconds for 25 offering. Let's just, for instance, put something that's not extremely expensive. Actually, here, we'll just use the dancing bolts. You'll see the dancing bolts come out. So if we go ahead and put this on, it'll be a 1-to-1 ratio again. Every second I should just be, yeah. Every second, I'm literally, every 0.3 seconds. So I'm just spamming out these nonstop. Now these, again, they don't really do any damage. It's just the little added bonus. This is why I'm not too keen on this. Now, this isn't working out on my specific build because this is a DOT build. I'm not focused on critical strike or critical hit damage. So these damage numbers for me are not very high. But this can actually crit. So if you were on a crit focus build with crit damage, then you would see significantly higher damage. But it's just a silly little combo because as long as you're standing still for 0.3 seconds, essentially, dancing bolts are literally just coming out. Okay? I'm not even doing anything. I just stand here. I'm just not doing anything. So that's how the system works. That's how the Runeworks are going to work. Again, specific builds are going to use specific combinations. Me personally, on this specific build, the gems are just better. The gems are just better than any other combination that I can get, unfortunately, in my opinion. At least on this specific build. The gems are just better. So, that's all I got for you folks today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. That is going to be the Runeworks going into Season 6. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, go ahead and leave them below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys real soon.